Hello, Motor Nation. I'm on PS4 today, and I'm not quite ready to do the whole summit, but I'm going to make some money. So let's have a look at where I'm at. Let's see. I am endeavoring not to say because I say a lot. I was listening to my other broadcasts. There's a lot of umming. Okay, so for the escape thing, I was going to use the Alpha GP car, but I think I did just as well on PC with a Hypercar. There I did it again. I did just as well on PC with a Hypercar. And here's where I'm at with the Hypercars. Let's see, there's my Ford GT. And it's in pretty good shape, I think. I've got maxed out parts on it. Yeah. I've got all the Nitro Chemist set. And they're all in pretty good shape. Oh yeah, I forgot I can't show the tune. Let me show the pro settings on that. I can't show it from that screen for some reason. Really stupid design decision there. If you're having trouble hearing me, let me know in the chat. Before I listened to some of my earlier PS4 broadcasts, and the mic was very quiet. I've adjusted it, but I want to make sure I got it right. This is my own tune. It's based on the fact that most cars, the default settings are in pretty good shape, as long as you reduce camber to minimum and I always forget what the setting is called. Rebound? I forget. I'm sorry. I'm not a mechanic. The thing that makes the car settle faster. If you make the car settle faster all the way up, basically give it a stiffer ride. There I go, again. And here, you can adjust the suspension to give you the amount of control that you want when steering. Basically, lowering the front and raising the rear gives you oversteer, which means that the car will go a little further than what your steering input gives it. So it feels more responsive. At least to me, it feels more responsive to do that. If you go the other way, you lower the front suspension settings and if you raise the front suspension settings and you lower the rear suspension settings, that gives you understeer, and that means that you have to steer farther to get the same amount of curve, and that can be useful if you have so much oversteer that you're spinning out of control a lot on turns. I dumped the gearbox down a little bit because that gives you a little bit faster acceleration. On some cars that can affect the top speed. It means that when you're pegged out at top in the maximum gear, you'll be limited by the RPMs of the engine as to how fast your car can go. And you'll know that's the case when the car is going when you're at top speed. Its RPM limiter is kicking in and not letting you go any faster. So that's my tune for the Ford GT that I came up with myself, basically. I'm no pro tuner or anything. I just know what these settings do, and I adjust them based on my experience handling the car. Now, on my preferred hypercar, the Egoista, I have a set of Nitro Chemist, but it's not fully upgraded yet. And I want to have two sets in case for summits like this. It's just a little more convenient to not have to be swapping sets of parts out all the time, because the interface does not make it easy. So I have all the Nitro Chemist parts, but they're all not set to the right thing. You want pure and extra pump on these settings, and I only have one extra pump. There's another one. I don't think I have any pures. I'm going to have to upgrade all of these, and that's going to cost a lot of bucks. And also maybe a lot of parts, which will also cost a lot of bucks. For my touring car, I get a special touring car that you have to buy, and I made enough money to buy it this week. But I think it needs some parts too. Let's have a look. This yellow color, by the way, is one that I found online. I did an anodized version of it. I forget what the name of it is. It's Giallo. Let me look this up. It's been bugging me. Giallo, it's Italian. Giallo, Giallo, which I assume is Italian for yellow. The specific kind is Halys, Halys. And it's kind of a golden version of yellow. There's a whole bunch of different versions of yellow that were made available for these Gallardos. There's Yellow Orion, Yellow Evros, Yellow Fly, which I don't know if that's the real name of it or if the source that I got this from just made it up, and Yellow Corona, which I assume is a sun-colored yellow. Anyway, let's have a look at the parts. Hey, Rosati, how you doing? Sorry, my dog's barking at you. I don't have any parts on here. Let's fix that. The touring car parts, I guess they're probably still on the Porsche from last week. So I probably should have prepped all of this stuff before I got on. I did do some prep, but not quite enough, it seems. Alright, here's the Hypercars, here's the touring cars, here's the GT3. You speak Arab, that's cool. I don't. I'm monolingual, I only speak English. I'm sorry to say. Oh, no, they're not in there. Where would I put them? Oh, here we go. They're on the M6. And as you can see, I don't even have a full set of legendary parts on here. So I'm going to have to go parts fishing for this, and I'm going to do that offline. And that's going to need a lot of upgrades. So I probably won't be able to do the touring car event right away. This video is probably primarily just going to be racing for money. So I'm going to be using various cars, various hypercars. I want to start out with a little practice run for the summit. We're going to do a New York race. And my general purpose hypercar of choice is the McLaren P1, the one that you get from winning the campaign. It has a good overall amount of performance. It's not absolutely the fastest car, but it has good handling, and I like the way it sounds. It's a nice growly sound to it. The Bugatti, which is my second favorite, has more of a rumbling sound, and you just heard what the Egoista sounds like. I have two Crew 2 accounts. I have one on PC and one on PS4. They're both tied to my same Uplay ID though. And I just bought the game. I bought the game for PS4 when I got a PS4. I started playing the Crew when it first came out. So let's see if we can go to New York here. Now before I came online, I set it up so that, hey Jordy, I'm doing great. I got my dog in his little crate back here. He's kind of chilling back there, but he might bark now and then because he doesn't like it when I'm talking to nobody. Like I'm in my apartment here talking to myself. He thinks I'm crazy. Alright, New York. Like I said, this is not for the summit yet. I'm just doing practice run. And hopefully I've got rid of... Hopefully I did the little thing that you do to get rid of traffic. It's a trick that you can do, which you can search for it on YouTube. There's several videos that show you how to do that. So we shouldn't run into any traffic. This will be reasonably fast run. My times on New York race tend to be a little over 30 minutes. It's going to be a nice long race, and I'll show you a few of the shortcuts. This car is using the Moneymaker set, so it's not going to be as fast as possible. So hope it's using the Moneymaker set, legendary set. Look at the fame magnet. I have it set up for fame and money. Whoops. This car, I used this car because I kind of got used to it. It was the first hypercar I got. It's the one that you get from racing the campaign, from finishing the street races. And it's reasonably fast. It's in the top, I don't know, the top 7 or so hypercars for speed. And the handling is really good. It can corner really well. And it's small, so it's good for driving through forests and trees and stuff. It's narrow. Okay, here's the first shortcut we're going to take. What this does is it skips the interchange that's up ahead. Whoa! Oh, you don't want to run into a tree here because that really slows you down. Oh, well. By the way, the orange color on this McLaren P1 is one that I found online. Tried to match it as best I could. I like to use anodized paints. It's not a good car. It's fine. It's not the best car. But its top speed is right up there with, whoa, the best ones. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I drive and talk. Get distracted. The P1 has a top speed over 280 miles per hour. Many of the hypercars top out at 278. I live in the USA. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. The other thing that the P1 has going for it is good acceleration. It has a very good 0 to 60 time, among the best. Many of them are like around 2.7 to 3 seconds. This one is under 2.5. The only ones faster are the, obviously the Egoista is the highest performing hypercar in the game right now, but the Regera has a really fast acceleration, and all of the Bugattis do. Oh, good. See, I'm talking again. Not paying attention. Alright, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to the road here. You don't think I'm a total hack. That was intentional, by the way. That's the quickest way through that intersection. If you get it just right, you can squeeze between the tree and the signpost, but it's very hard to do. I usually only use it when I'm coming out of curves and stuff. Like I said, this isn't the Nitro Chemist set, so I have a limited amount of nitro available. Yeah, definitely agree with that. When it's red, you only have like a fraction of a second available. It won't speed you up at all, hardly. Hard to steer when you're in the air. Yeah, far off in the weeds there. Just to give you an idea of my typical skill level, I usually get platinums on the summits. There was one week I didn't because it was the week that the Devo Magma Edition was available. There was a lot of competition that week, and there was a couple of events that I just didn't have the performance in my vehicles, and I couldn't get the top scores. Usually for my times on races, I'm in the top 1% on PS4 and the top 10% on PC. I find that generally the times on PC are a little bit faster. I'm not sure if that's because people can use like macro keys or can configure their settings and that makes it easier for them. But for whatever reason, I think honestly the real reason is there's just a whole lot more PS4 players. I didn't get the Devo Magma, no. I didn't get, that was one week that I didn't get Platinum. I got it every other week. I got the TDF last week. Pretty sweet car. From what I understand, the Devo Magma is not that much better than the regular Devo. It does have a cool livery though. I have all of them except the ones that were in summits before I started. So I don't have, for example, the Hurricane Performante. Don't have that one. And I think that's it. I think I have all the rest of them. What? So like I have the Egoista. I'm not up to icon level 1000 on the PS4 yet. I am on the PC, so I have the Carbon Edition Chiron on the PC. Still waiting to get it on PS4 though. The highest performing, my favorite for doing speed is definitely the Egoista, but I'm not a big fan of the sound. I like the Devo a lot. In fact, I didn't even buy the Chiron on PS4 yet because I like the way the Devo performs better than the Chiron. It's got better handling. Slightly better. The Chiron can have, depending on how you have the pro settings, can have a higher top speed, but there are very few races that let you get to top speed. So that's only really useful for bragging rights on the salt flats or whatever. I would say the third best hypercar is probably the Regera. I really like the Regera's handling. It's pretty speedy too. The Regera sounds really cool too with the electric engine and no shifting, one single gear, very cool. Yeah, the Aventador and Pagani are good to drive. They're not the top end. They're not at the top end. Although I saw a list once that showed the Aventador having the top speed. Although the testing that this guy did was he was looking for the absolute top speed possible with the hypercar. Not the kind of thing you would get in a race, but with the best parts, the best tune on the salt flats. And with his results, he showed the Aventador was actually the fastest speed attainable. Which is kind of weird because it's not really the fastest car in real life. But I love the look of the Aventador. It's always been one of my favorite looking cars. The Pagani has a special place in my heart because in the Crew 1, it was the best car. It had by far the best handling. You could turn at very high speeds with that car. I assume the French players all want you to drive the Bugatti. The Bugattis are super expensive though. Yeah, it takes a lot of hours to get that 1000 icon. I mean, I started on the... I only have it on the PC because I started when the game was first released. I played for many months. Got up to around 800 or so, and then I took a break. And I came back after the first anniversary to get all the free stuff they were giving away. And I spent a lot of time doing long races and getting icon points. Eventually, it took me a couple months after that, but I eventually got over icon 1000. But the thing that kind of sucks about that is there's nowhere to go from there. In fact, you get a part box, a perk part every 10 levels. Even after you hit 1000. And at one point they start switching from epic to legendary. But after 1000, I would think that after 1000 you should get a legendary part every 10 levels, but they don't do that. But there's lots of ways to get them, you know. I think on PC I almost have all of them. Anything except the few that were on summits when I wasn't playing. I may have, I may have a few touring cars I didn't buy. I don't do touring races very much. Just because I'm not a big fan of driving around in circles. I like the big long point-to-point races like this. Sprints. Whoa, look at that fog. What is your fog doing in the tunnel? Okay, one of my favorite shortcuts is coming up. Oh, get off the wall. Super foggy. One thing about... I actually like this. You're up in the mountains and it puts you up in the clouds. Okay, here's the shortcut. This skips all of the round and round of the... Oh, don't run into a tree. Skips all the round and round at the interchange and that big separate path you have to take. Saves quite a bit of time. My favorite street car? I am partial to the Audi RS5, which was only released with the last content update. It is right up there with the Mitsubishi Evo and the Lamborghini, the Hurricane. If you look in the top, I don't know, 50, you will probably see a few RS5s up in there. The reason I like the RS5 is not only for the performance, but I also like the feel of the driving and the sound. Sound is a big deal for me because a lot of the cars have this whiny sound, and when you race for a long time, that whine really gets on my nerves. So I like the ones with lower engines, like the kind of like the P1 here, good example. The sounds that the Ferraris make, I don't like that. Most of the Ferraris are very high-pitched. I race a lot of the different street cars though. I found a list online of speed tests for the street cars, and I generally race using the ones that showed up top in that list. So that's things like the Hurricane, the Mitsubishi, the Audis RS5 and RS8, the Porsches, Porsche GT3 and GT4, and even the old 911 is really good, really fast one. The Gallardo is a good one. It's definitely one of the top tier cars. What else? The NSX is a top tier car. I don't know, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm trying not to crash here. This is the part of the New York race where you can really let loose. As long as you're not running into walls. One thing that's kind of a drag about the P1 is that when you get at really high speed, it gets kind of floaty. I have the aerodynamics tuned to the rear of the car for speed. That means when you get up above 250, the front tires tend to lag when you go over a bump. So you can't turn when you're going downhill. Actually, you'd be surprised. I've gotten most of the Hypercars going downhill on that particular stretch of road. If you time the nitro right, if you're using the nitro chemist, you can get over 300 miles per hour. Just to 300 miles per hour. I don't know what that is in kph. A little less than 500, I think. Since I'm in the US, we use the backwards miles per hour. Oh, crud. I missed a turn. Oh, that was dumb. Bugatti is definitely nice. I'll show you one later. It's got a nice low rumble to it. And the handling is just, the speed and the handling are phenomenal. This is the part of the race that I hate. I like the least because you can't cut corners very easily in this section because there's lots of rocks. If you try to cut corners, you'll go flying. And they're hidden too, some of them. They're hidden in clumps of bush or whatever. I think the designers were being cruel, intentionally cruel on this part of the track. Doesn't help that it's raining. Whoops. Really hard to see the road in the rain when it's dark. Everything's gray. I'm not a huge fan of driving hypercars on twisty roads. Oh, crap. I'm not a fan of driving hypercars on twisty roads because these cars are designed to go flat out on straightaways, but at least on this race, there's not a whole lot of, hairpins and doubling back. The roads are they're windy, but they're not, you don't have to slow down a whole lot. The turns are more interesting than just going straight for a half hour though, I must say. Oh, good. Good, the sun's coming out. Probably still gonna have wet roads the rest of the way though. Okay, after this next checkpoint is my favorite shortcut in the whole game. There's a big, long, twisty section of road after this, and I'm going to skip right by all of it by going through a canyon. And I saw this in a Russian video that was made early on after the game was released. It's the only time I've seen it. I'm sure probably someone has made another video. Go out through here, and you follow this canyon, and aim for the next checkpoint. You save, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 seconds on your time. Maybe more. I haven't really run time tests. But it's definitely a lot of time to save. And there's a few rocks down here, but it doesn't really matter if you get them, because you're going downhill, so it's easy to keep the speed up, it's easy to control. Point. Oops. You do have trouble steering when you get to a level point there. Hypercars don't like steering on the dirt. Now that we have the driving line, I could just back on track right now, but I like to wait until I can at least see the road so that I know I'm definitely going to get there. And there it is. There we go. I guess the sun went down. It's dark out here. And still wet, of course. This stretch of road can be particularly treacherous when it's wet because there are openings in the guardrail on curves that make it very easy to smack right into the guardrail. There. On a real road in California, you would never ever see these kinds of guardrails. I lived in California for many years. Highway safety is a big deal. There's always like lights and barrels at the end of a guardrail. So it's very obvious. You'll see it coming, won't run into it. Yeah, I found online, I found a midnight blue color that was used for a few Bugatti Devos. And I used that for my Devo. It looks really nice. It's a little bit like, it's sort of like the shiny black that's available from the default, but it's got this bluish color. It looks best in the sunlight. It's really sweet. Okay, coming up on Sacramento. I really wish the arrow, the direction arrow, wouldn't disappear like it does. So I rely on it, especially when it's dark or foggy and it's hard to see the road. By the way, I took that path through Sacramento so that I can pick up speed before heading onto this section of road. If you go by the normal marked path, You have to make a turn right at the where the road goes off, and it slows you down. This part of the freeway is really treacherous in the dark with no guiding arrows. Some parts have lights, but some parts don't. There's lots of curves, and they're hard to see. A little slower than my usual time there, but not bad. I'm going to ignore that life reward for now. Okay, so I wanted to see how my score was. I did that 34 minutes. I'll show you my best time on that guy. Oops. My best time is, of course, with the Egoista. There you go, 32 minutes. I have a 31-minute time on PC, also with the Egoista. And how does that rank up worldwide? Yeah, 8,000th place. That's I don't know what percentage that is. It's towards the top. I'll use the Devo for next. Since we're trying to make money, the two moneymaker routes on with Hypercars are Hollywood and New York. So let's go to Hollywood, and I'll use the Devo. I'll show you my Devo paint job. Still kind of dark. So let's see here. See, I don't have the Chiron, but I do have the Devo. Oh, let me switch the parts over so I make money. Get rid of these. I keep a lot of old parts around because I have a few sets that I haven't quite filled up yet, and so I want to make sure that I get the most efficient use of upgrades. So we're going for the Fame Magnet set with bucks, which doesn't help much with speed, but it brings in the bucks. Okay, let me see what my icon bonuses are right now. Oh look, I got a timeline reward. Oh, I got the truck, look at that. The monster truck! Okay, I'm set up for rich with performance, so that's good. So, Let's see, 150 more icon levels, and I get the Bugatti Chiron Carbon Edition. Let's switch the Devo. So this blue color is the custom color I came up with. That's in anodized color. I love it. I tried to minimize the amount of that light blue, except on accents for the look of the car. And for all my street cars in the interior, I make them yellow to remind me that it's a street car. And this guy has the default wheels, but I put the French... Oh, Chiron? Okay. Thank you. Chiron. Because it's French. Chiron. Thank you. Boy, I feel like an idiot now. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I put the French smoke on this guy. Okay, let's do Hollywood. I love that engine. Just listen to that engine. Oh, that's sexy. That big old rumble. Chiron. What's that turn? I flubbed the first turn there, sorry about that. I'll catch up later. I haven't run this in a long time. I usually stick with the longer... Oh! I usually stick with the longer one. Lord, I'm pretty crappy. I think I'll get past him on the jump, though. For some reason, these guys always take the jump slow. Detroit is up there. I did a chart with my best times, and for me, the three best are New York, Hollywood, and Big Land. Actually, Big Land I get really fast times on because I'm so used to it. Because it's a nice, it's just a nice straight race. Nothing to think about. So I get under 3 minutes on Big Land with the 22,500. It's a pretty good rate of return. New York is quite a bit more than that. And of course, the street races are better for your money. For most of the races, they're like 10 or 12 street races you can do that are that'll give you more money than pretty much any hypercar race. And the best time per dollar is some of the boat races. Uber Dam, and there's one of the speed boat, the little boat. What are those little boats called? The ones that I never use. There's Main Highlands Cave is the name of the race. And that's a really fast race, under a minute and a half, and it gets 18,000. Oh, crud! Oh, man. I'm sorry for that performance. That was pathetic. Let's do it again. Oh no, it's raining. Let's not do it again. See, I got my best time on this with the Agera 243. I just got a 247 with the Devo. That was pretty sad. But it was better than that guy. Yeah, I don't like jet sprints. They're so hard to control. I have trouble with the air races too, because the air races require you to have like they're required to use sometimes use 4 buttons at once. You have to have the accelerator down. You have to be able to use both rudders controls and maybe extreme and maybe boost. So that's 5 actually controls at once. And ugh, I don't. My fingers. I'm an old guy. Okay, my fingers don't work that way. Air Race for me is a lot easier on PC because I can customize the buttons. So I have the buttons set to where I can use the face buttons more, and it's easier. It's a lot easier for me. Oh, you're an old guy too, huh? Okay. Okay, let's do Big Land because it's a nice easy one, and I'll switch to street races. I need a little bit of a relaxation after those two tough races. We're coming up on an hour here. Damn. I love this race because it's just nice and relaxing. There's only 2 turns that you really have to worry about. Nice! I just had my 58th birthday last week. So for me, 60 is looming. But I don't feel 58. I think it's probably because I play video games all the time. Keeps my brain young. Yeah? Well, I don't smoke, and I have kind of a higher pitched voice, so... Plus, most of my friends are younger, in their 20s and 30s, so my speech patterns tend to follow theirs. I guess maybe I don't talk like an old guy. I live in a college town, so a lot of my friends are like graduate students and stuff at the U of A. Yes, definitely agree. There's a quote I remember, I can't remember where I heard it, but it said, when you stop playing, you start aging. And it's true. Playing keeps you young. It's kind of the whole, mindset of playing make-believe and using your imagination and stuff like that. Did ya? I was going to get Grid, but some of the reviews I saw didn't look that great to me. It might just have been the guys that I was seeing, or maybe they were using pre-release builds or something, but I don't know. For example, let's see. Okay, so there were 16 cars in all the races that I saw, and in a lot of them, they were multiple AI racers that had the same livery, which that would just kill the game for me. That would just look stupid. Like there was a truck race, and there were the guy was racing, and there were 4 trucks in his field of view that were all the exact same livery. It's just kind of, what the hell? Yeah, see, nice and quick. 240. Wow, that's a pretty good time. I'll see if they come up with some performance patches and stuff on... Okay, I got 240 on that. Let's see how that ranks. I want to see. I think that's near one of my better times. Yeah, 237 with the Egoista. 240 is pretty good, though. I don't have a lot of friends on PS4. I have a lot more friends on PC, so my Friend list. More sim, huh? Okay. That's good. I played, when I stopped playing the Crew 2, I took on Forza Horizon 4, and I really, really enjoyed that one. But after I had collected most of the cars, I just kind of like, there wasn't much more for me to do in that game, so I kind of got tired of it. Okay, let's switch to some street races. Any particular requests for cars or races? I will be happy to do whatever you want. Yeah, it kind of surprises me how long-lived this well, judging by the original Crew, I mean, the original Crew was like, what, 4 years, 5 years before before they released the Crew 2, and they were updating it all the way to the end. My current favorite that I've been using is the NSX. Yeah, that'll keep you busy. All right, let's take out the NSX and let's do the big money makers. Let me see if I have them set to legendary right now. Okay, yes I do. I've already set them to legendary. So the Strip South, the Sleeper is okay, but it's not one of my favorite races. There's rain, so I don't really like that. Motor Trend Classic Challenge is a good one. Detroit Interstate is a good one. Although in Detroit Interstate, the AI cheats like a mother because they always bunch up and go super fast, and it's a bunch of old cars. It just kills it for me. It's really annoying. Harlem West is fun. The Strip North, the Strip North is a good one, but I don't have it highlighted, I guess, for some reason. Downtown LA South is the Quickie. That's the one where you shortcut through the fountain. Very short track. You do four loops. And Downtown Detroit, which is one where you're dodging freeway columns and stuff. And then when it's raining, the Strip West also, that's a good one. Lots of jumping in that. When it's raining, I like to do West Florida Coast and Black Hills West, which are both clear all the time. West Florida Coast is, you have to take a fast car because there's a bunch of, basically, supercars. There's no low-end cars in that race, and then there's a big straightaway at the end. So they will pull away from you if you're not careful on Ace difficulty, which is actually rare for Ace difficulty. Usually the AI is way behind you. And Black Hills West is fun. It's kind of twisty. It's through the hills. It's a nice foresty atmosphere, and it's foggy, so it's very moody. It's a fairly straightforward race, but it's a lot of fun. In fact, wow, 250. You must have been playing since the very beginning. So I took like 6 or 8 months off. So I got way behind the top players. I have just started to build multiple sets. Yeah, I played the public beta rather, and then I played for like 4 or 5 months till just after Forza Horizon 4 came out, and I got almost all the cars. What is this snow? This is not right. Did I do east instead of west? I did east instead of west. I don't want to do this. Sorry about that. I hate racing in snow. I hate the feeling that I'm not in control of the car. I'm a control freak, I guess. Black Hills West. Okay. Does this look different to you? I think the shadows look different. Nice thing about the NSX is you can boost from the start. And it will keep up with you. Most of the supercars are like that. I wish there was a... Whoops. Shoot. Stop talking. I wish there was a supercar designation in the game. The handling on this thing is just so beautiful. You can be going really fast, take curves. Very nice. And it has the engine sound I like to describe as brassy. That sounds like a trombone. Oh, crud. Turn too tight there. Trying to catch up to me. Neil, you're not going to beat me, buddy. I'm out of practice on this track too. I usually do West Florida Coast because it's straighter. Man, they're getting ahead of me. Look at that. I'm going to be able to catch this guy. Okay, at the end of this event, the track kind of straightens out a little bit, so we'll see if we can catch him there. Oh, bad turn, bad turn. What the hell? I think I've lost this one. I'm going to have to try again. This is the track that I was using for timing tests on my cars. Because it has constant weather, it has a mix of straights and curves. It's long enough, not too long, long enough to get good spread on your times. Yeah, wait, did I blow this one? Oh my god. It's getting worse. Fifth place. That's pathetic. Please forgive me. Let's do that again. That was humiliating.
Three, two, one.
It's up in the top 20, I think, based on the timing charts I've seen. So it's not near the top of the top 20, though, definitely. Its problem is it has good acceleration and handling, but its problem is the top speed is not quite there. So when you got straights, you get in trouble. It's good acceleration, though. Like some cars, from that start there, you can't even break out of the pack. You can't break ahead of the pack on most cars. But the top 20, which are generally the ones I use, they have enough acceleration to just zip through. Alright, I'm going to stop talking so I don't crash. know, this foggy track doesn't look quite so dense on PC, I think. For some reason, right? Maybe it's because of the time of day, but it's really hard to see very far right now. Fortunately, I know most of the turns on this, even though it may not look like it from that last race. Okay, 307. So, like you were saying, not a top tier car because my best scores on this race are sub 3 minutes. And that's with the best cars. That was only a fair run, but 307 is not the best time. Okay, let's have a look at the stats. So, 0 to 60, really good fast acceleration. The best acceleration for a street car is 2.43. Most street cars are around 2.75 or 3. Quarter mile, not so great. Lateral G's, also not so great. You notice it was sliding in some of the turns. A lateral G at one or more is what you want to have, really. Braking distance is not really important for the racing, but its top speed is actually looks deceptively good. It takes it a long time to get up to that 228, and an indication of that is the quarter mile speed. Because while it has a good 0 to 60, beyond that in the upper gears, it slows down. Its acceleration slows down quite a bit. So that's the NSX. Compare with the RS5 Coupe, which is my favorite, mostly because of the sound. So it's got a slightly lower top speed, but it gets there quicker. Quarter mile is a little faster, 0 to 60 a little slower. Lateral G is 1, which means you can just take pretty much any turn. And I don't think this is not my tune. This is a tune I got from somebody else, but it's the one I use. It works pretty well. And then the Hurricane, which everybody likes best, it's at the top of the charts. So there we go, 0 to 60, 2.93, which is really kind of slow, and the quarter mile is also kind of slow. But it's got a lateral G's of 1.02, and that 0.02 may not seem like much, but it means that on turns, you can just scream right through turns. Plus, the top speed, 229, it will get there, and it will get above that. So the Hurricane is definitely the best performing street car. Some people, it depends on the driver, really. Some people, the Lancer Evo, do better with the Lancer Evo, which I have here somewhere. In the other direction? Knowing the alphabet? There we go. Yeah, followed close by the RS5. Again, it depends on the driver, right? If it's a car that you're really used to and you know how it performs and how it behaves, you can get really good. So the Evo X, its big selling point is the acceleration, 2.5 seconds 0 to 60. So it coming out of curves and off the line, very fast. Also the lateral G's, 1.11. That's 10% better than the Hurricane. That means you can literally scream through turns. It will not skid ever. Ever. So that's where the Evo has its popularity. But like I said, it depends on how you drive, right? If you push it really fast and hard on the curves, the Evo X is going to be better for you. If you're more careful on the curves, which is most good drivers will be careful on the curves because that's how you get the best score with most cars. Most cars, you can't scream through the curves. So if you're more careful on the curves, you'll have a better time with the Lamborghini. Anyway, let's switch to the RS5 because I love it. In fact, let me put my favorite livery on there. Oops. I'm sorry, I just accidentally hopped out of the game. Accidentally hopped out of the game there. That was dumb. Okay. That's probably true. That's probably true. In fact, I found that a lot of the times the specs are a little bit deceiving. If you tune entirely by the specs, you're not going to have a good time because you really have to try your tunes and do it by feel. I'm going to show off a couple more liveries here real quick. This one may not be set up for this car, but... Oh, no, there we go. So this is when I have a car set up for making bucks. There's also a big B on the top, but you can't see it on this car because this car has a black hard top. So B's on the side, B's in the back. For the F12 TDF, which just came out, I found an old livery online that was used on an actual F12 TDF that was kind of an homage to an old racing car in the 50s that actually ran the Tour de France. And it's this baby blue with these French stripes. Looks super sweet. And when it's kind of funny when you put the anodized color on the wrap, it gives you this kind of satiny finish, which I think is also pretty cool. These are all on the PS4, by the way. If you friend me up, badkenbad, you can find them in your friends list. I will accept friend requests from anybody. I'm a whore. Okay, let's see what else we got. I got a lot of cars up through here. Okay, so this is... I don't know if I did the Iron Man livery on this. This is the Audi that Iron Man used in the Avengers movies. This is the color of the Audi that Iron Man used in Age of Ultron. I made a... Oops. I made a livery somewhere. It's not here. It's on the PC. Oh well. It basically looks like Iron Man's helmet. It's kind of neat. Okay, and let's see. One more while I'm showing stuff off. Oh, I want to show off my my Agera livery. Agera Zhejian livery, which is based on a car that was shipped to China. Bulldog, I will catch you as soon as the cast is done. Unless, if you'd rather not wait, speak up in chat and I'll do it real quick right now. Here we go. So, Zhejian was a car that was custom made for a customer in China. And these gold accents were all part of the car. The purple color matches what I saw in a video of the car. The only thing I couldn't match was the inside. The interior of the car is actually gold leather. Purple leather with gold accents. All the control console is golden. The rear exhaust port is golden. It's very cool looking. And it has these stripes on it has these black and gold stripes on the back. Gold around all of the exhaust ports there, around all the ports there for the tires. Very cool. And this pathetic looking badge. It just could not make it look good in this livery editor. It's actually in script that matches the Agera badge on the real car. Anyway, this is also available. Okay. Okay, well I'll catch you after the cast. So, what are we gonna do next? Another street race? Another hypercar race? How much money do I have? 545,000. I don't want to go through and upgrade my cars on stream because that's just going to be boring as shit for you guys. So let's try the RS5. My best time on Motor Trend is with a motorcycle, actually. I don't like using the motorcycles on the PS4 because lean forward to go fast, for me, makes it, or lean forward to go fast, lean back to go fast, makes it really hard to control the car for me, or for the bike for me. So on PC, I have that mapped to the one of the face buttons, which helps. Oh shoot! Switch cars first, you idiot. Okay, here we go. We're making bucks. I try to match the colors on my cars to forward for acceleration. Thank you. Never. Well, see, like I said, on the PC, I just have it on a button, so I don't really know whether I don't use the stick. So it makes it a lot easier because you can boost and lean at the same time. It goes a lot faster. So I get better times on my bikes on the PC. I try not to race the bikes on the PS4 at all. They're all faster than the cars, but the cars are more fun for me. Really? 135? Wow. Let me check my time on this. Oh, great. Of course it snows. Snow. I'm gonna race anyway. I don't care. There we go. 139 on the bike. See, like I said, I'm not, I'm not a top 10 pro racer. I'm maybe above average, I would class myself. But that's in the top 1% of scores. So I'm happy with that score. I'm happy being in the top 1%. That makes me very happy. All right. Let's get the right car. In the snow, this should be interesting. Yeah, a lot of the streamers that I see and guys that make YouTube videos, every time they race, they get #1 scores for the summits. And to me, that's just kind of, I'm never going to be that good.
2, 1.
We shall see. The RS5 may be great in the snow, but am I great in the snow? Listen to that growly engine. I just love this engine. Now you'll notice I'm not hitting the walls very much here because I've run this race about 800 million times. Nice! That's really good. I'm happy if I break 1,000. On PC, I'm like, I think 1,400 and something right now. When I finish on PS4, I'll probably be somewhere in that neighborhood. I just don't have that extra bit of... I think what it is I'm inherently careful. And I think that hurts my... I think that hurts my scores. Because to do really well in the summit, you have to go balls out all the time. And I'm too paranoid to do that. Because I'll wipe out. $144. That's okay, I guess. Well, it's snowing. Let's go back to a non-snowy track. Let's do Florida. We didn't do Florida Coast yet, right? Whoops. So this is the one that's full of supercars. It's got a fixed weather setting, so it's always at sundown and always clear, which is nice. It's got some tricky curves at the front,
3,
long straightaways at the back.
1.
So you really have to exercise all your skills. We've got a Ferrari, we've got a Lamborghini, there's a Ferrari F40 somewhere in the pack, there's another Lamborghini. And they tend to seem like that F40 came in my ass. Looks like the Striker there, which is another top car. Now what's going to happen here, probably, is I'm going to pull ahead a little bit here. They might catch up to me here, but once we get to the straightaway, they're going to come right up on my ass. And what they do is they pair off so they get drafting bonuses. They're very sneaky, those AIs. So you're out in front relying on just your car's horsepower, drafting off each other. If I open up the map a little bit... Oh, they're not drafting this time. Look at that. They're separated. It's good. That means they're not going to win. Sometimes get it up to 240 on that straightaway. Saving up my boost for the final stretch. Tricky turn up ahead into railroad crossing. Very easy to crash into those railroad things. Go. Sub 3 minutes. Good time. See, my best time with there is a ZR1. That's another good top car. ZR1 is like one of the top 10. It's kind of funky handling though. You gotta be used to it. Okay, maybe it has to see how the weather's going. I think I got a few more races in me before I have to take a break. We still got snow. Let's do something weird. How about an off-road? I don't really need to do an off-road, but off-road doesn't make you as much money. Bayou's a nice short one. Bayou's one of the best money makers on off-road. Let's do Bayou. What the heck? No competition here except the Ghost, which I'm going to set to myself, I think. Who's got this stuff? I guess I don't have a... Well, that's parts. I don't want parts. Yeah, Wrangler Evo 2 is best for Bayou. Because it's got the clearance. Doesn't get hung up on the... Yeah. Well, I don't have a good set for this, so... For money. So I'll just use the speed one, which is on my bike right now. Bikes are the worst on this. Let's take out the Jeep, just because Matt says so. Actually, I have better luck with the Porsche on this, but the Jeep handling seems somehow alien to me. Since I'm taking a Nitro Chemist set, I'm probably going to get a really good, one of my better times on this. Then, whoops, shoot. My dog is starting to complain. That means this has to be the last race, I'm afraid. Okay.